everybody, welcome back to Northern Lion Plays The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. Great Azazel run. Always love it. Time for what I would consider to probably be the last run of my day today. Oh, you'd tease. So many runs today and we never get Judas. It's unfair. Well, no, it's not, because we just had a 20-minute Azazel run now that I think about it. You can't always get what you want. DV7Y Y21D. Is it just me, or like do the seeds in Rebirth like exclusively use letters that could easily be confused with other letters? Maybe it's because my penmanship is just straight up trashed here, but man, I'm always like there's 2s and Zs and 5s and S's and, you know, B's and 8s, and if you're not gonna, there's probably a very good reason for that I just don't know about, but to my, you know, stupid layman brain, not latent brain, that would be, you know, really good at solving like arbitrary puzzles that for some reason gate progress, but it just seems like, why couldn't you have just made the seed like a number? Why don't you just make, I guess if you made it a number, it would be too easy to, if it was sequential, it would be too easy to like go down, but what about like a random number generator? That seems like that might be a little bit better than using the letters, but I don't know, there's probably something going on that I'm not aware of, and that's fine. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to keep this conversational thread up until we actually manage to beat Envy here. Holy shit. It actually hasn't taken as long, quite, as I thought it would. I maybe pushed that one away, unfortunately. But it's okay. Yeah, we didn't get anything for beating Envy. That's alright, you know. Let's be honest. What would we have gotten for beating Envy in the best case scenario? Shoop the whoop. Do I really want Shoop the whoop? No, I do not really want Shoop the whoop. Thank you for asking before just giving it to me. It's always nice to do. Now we have an item room coming up, and I would very much appreciate it if it was something that actually benefited us, because I'm coming off of that Azazel run, so I'm feeling like my damage is good, right? Feeling like I'm doing a killer amount of damage. Curse of the Blindness has given me pinking shears, which, to be honest with you, is one of the items from Vanilla that I think has gotten a nice new coat of paint in Rebirth. I don't know if it actually does more damage, or if I've just given myself more of a chance to appreciate it because I'm playing as characters other than, you know, Isaac more than 50% of the time. But the pinking shears, man, they do so much damage now. The ability to fly is what it is, but the damage that they do is incredible. We also have a battery back there, so if I could use this battery, well, what I'll probably do, the worst case scenario, or the most likely scenario, I guess I should say, is that I'll probably end up, that's a weird room for this early in the game, I'll probably end up going up against the boss. You know what, no. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to use it right here, because this room is likely to be a little bit tougher than the rooms that we'll encounter early on the next floor, just by virtue of the fact that it's a pretty tough basement room. And then we'll get the battery and we'll use the shears against our boss, and then we'll head down to the next floor with no charge. What I was thinking was actually going to happen was that we would fight the boss with the battery, and then we would head down, or sorry, fight the boss with our full charge, head back, get the battery, head down to the next floor with the full charge. But this is fine as well. I'm going to be going up against Monstro, and I'll admit it seems like kind of a waste to actually like be using the shears against a boss that's relatively easy like Monstro is, but you can really see the power of the shears when Monstro stops jumping. If the shears could just get some aggro, yeah, it's going to nuke him down there in like a second. Very easy. Curse of the Blind, don't fail me. Mom's underwear. That is, you've failed me. I only gave you one job. There's so many good boss room items now, and you give me one of the ones that is not very useful at all. But hey, who knows if maybe that we end up picking up Proptosis or something like that, and maybe this allows us to actually have a workable amount of damage with Proptosis. Workable amount of range, sorry. With Proptosis, you always have a workable amount of damage. Now, if you would please stop making me fight mini-bosses on this run, that would be lovely. Thank God that's not a bomb that was chasing us down, because I could not have gotten away. The Stars card. You know what? I'm going to pop it right now. Cricket's Body. Amazing item. We didn't have a key, so I feel pretty good about this. The use of that card, I should say. Cricket's Body is extremely good. It sounds, you know, maybe a little vaguely erotic there, but that's okay. I don't know, you know, are we talking about Rickety Cricket? It's been a while since I watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but, you know, apart from the whole scurvy thing, it seemed like he kept himself pretty well cut, you know? That's a little dangerous there, but that's okay. I don't think we're going to use a bomb to get that pot, or the... well, now we will, because there's a bomb in there. pot contained a scent as well. Unlikely to be that useful for us, but it's all good. Alright, so now major interest is just if we can get another key. Oh man, lucky secret room get. But if we could get our get another key and then buy another spirit heart, that would pretty much set us up for deals with the devil. Oh, thank you. And being set up for those deals with the devil would be nice. But there's actually a tinted rock, so we can just avoid that. I really love the way we look with Cricket's body here. That's pretty good. Alright, 5s. Oh, let's go get to one more room because that was a legitimate sentence, I promise you that. But we're going to go to one more room here because I want to get the full charge on the shears. Not that we need it because Cricket's body, you know, by itself is fairly nice for us, and it synergizes really nicely with damage, which hopefully is something we'll be able to pick up from the deal with the devil that is relatively inevitable here. It might not be a good deal with the devil, but it's inevitable that we get it anyway. Dingle. Alright, as always, when we're fighting Dingle, I'm on the spot, man. Yep, that's bad damage. I should not have been hit by that, but damage up, that's great. Even if the deal with the devil turns out to be shitty, as it did, we still, you know, can benefit from this somewhat. I'm heading down to the next floor. Not worried about the shop. Not worried about picking up other consumables elsewhere. We're dealing all right with that. Leaving myself the opportunity to maybe have a good chance to get the boss rush mode. Our flies are going to be gone soon, but I appreciate that they, you know, lasted as long as they did. This does happen sometimes that you get the same item twice in a row, so we should pick up Anarchist Cookbook and then put it back down. All right. So Blood Clot is, I like the luck upgrade. You know, it should sort out some of our consumable-based issues. And just in general, anytime you can get a damage upgrade from a boss, you know, it's easy to forget that in vanilla there were very, very few damage upgrades from bosses. Off the top of my head, occasionally you'd get the pentagram. Apart from that, I don't believe that growth hormones used to be a boss room item. I'm starting to have my my knowledge of vanilla atrophy a little bit because it's been so long since I was in that kind of sphere of playing it, you know? But I don't believe that growth hormones can show up. The purple syringe. I think it's growth hormones anyway. Trying to think of what else there was that you could even get. Meat would do it. That might actually be almost it. Now, there's probably a couple that I'm missing. I always, you know, they ask you to name 50 states. You're probably going to end up leaving some out. You know, you might end up leaving out Rhode Island or something like that. Connecticut. No offense if you were from Rhode Island or Connecticut. I'm just saying, you know, nobody's forgetting Texas, okay? Nobody's forgetting California, New York. They're just more, I'm not going to say they're better states. I'm just going to say they're more well-known, perhaps, in the media. More widely talked about than Connecticut or perhaps Delaware. That's a tinted rock right there. We need that. I've been taking some dumb damage. Fantastic. Small rock. I love it. Now, we're not guaranteed or even necessarily likely to get deals with the devil on this floor, but it is plausible. I would like it to happen. Because if we could pick up like Pentagram, Abaddon, Dark Matter, aka I always call it Fear Shot, Mark, Pact, etc., etc. These items can be very, very nice for me in conjunction with Cricket's body. Other stuff that would be awesome with Cricket's body that I would love to see. Rubber Cement, Parasite, Ipecac would be ridiculous. I would be totally fine with picking up Tiny Planet. Curved Spoon Bender. I can't believe I call it Curved Spoon every single time. It's to the point where I know that people out there are going to be like, dude, you just call it that intentionally. No, it's just, it gets reinforced every time in my brain, because every time I call it Curved Spoon, I laugh about it and go, haha, isn't that silly? What else? Well, incredibly high rate of fire, incredibly high damage would be good. Other tier effects like piercing shots would be incredible. Like, we're leaving ourselves a pretty wide assortment of items that could be helpful in the hopes that one or more of them show up. Range down is not really what I was looking for. I'll tell you that much right off the bat. Found our item room. Could use a bomb to get that half red heart. Something tells me that that's probably not the best use of company resources here as Blue Baby. You may disagree. Dry Baby is good. Doesn't help us at all in our quest to make Cricket's body Death Destroyer of Worlds, but it's good. That enemy is, I was gonna say, is gonna explode as a result of the, like, I've learned now, someone in chat pointed it out, and then when they said it, I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Dark green enemies always explode when they're killed. Dark green champions, I should say. We haven't been to our shop, but we might just not go to our shop. There's another Spirit Heart waiting for us here, which is great because I'm at a decent risk of taking damage. Ended up being pretty good, though. Hey, we got the pentagram for free. So I'm just gonna head down to the next floor. I know that it might strike you as a little bit lazy, but I'm doing this all to get to boss rush to hopefully get like a really cool synergy item with Cricket's body, which is the most important thing for me right now because it would be more fun. And I think our run is strong enough that if I have to think about whether or not we're gonna pick up Purple Heart, then I don't have to think about it. That's a sentence that makes no sense whatsoever. But what I'm getting at is that, you know, we don't need to min-max right now because we're already in such a fairly good situation. You know, getting Pentagram for free is lovely. We have a good spacebar item, so we're sorted on that front. That was not very good. We have enough Spirit Hearts in order to snag a deal with the devil if one is going to show up. I would very much like for that to happen. So why not, you know? And of course, we have this latent kind of... That's very good. We have this latent kind of Cricket's body thing hanging over our run that I would be very excited to actually make good use of in the future if we could get the chance to. Now, if we get a battery, we may want to go open that golden chest by using pinking shears, but I don't really want to very much. I would rather just leave it. You know, it's going to cost us a key either way. A golden chest is already kind of like, if you're not super rich on keys, it's already a little bit of a gamble. And then you throw in the fact that we'd have to use a shears charge to do it. And it becomes a little bit cost prohibitive. I think there's a tinted rock right here. We even managed to kill the enemy in the process. Good, good. Magician. You know, not super worthwhile. That's okay. Thank you, Dry Baby. I almost forgot you were here, actually. You know what? We'll use our Chariot card. We could go gamble in the arcade. There's actually the possibility that that could be really good for us. You know, on the off chance that it... always able, man. On the off chance that we got, like, perhaps a fortune teller in there. We could get something good. But as is, not really that concerned about it. There will be people who would probably rather use their Chariot cards on the blood bank. I don't know, man. The best you can do on the blood bank is a lot of money, which is good, though that's why I said a lot instead of like a modest sum. You know, I'm not trying to sell it as being worse than it is. Or you get, you know, the blood bag payout. And the blood bag payout is basically worthless for us as Blue Baby. It's worth a Spirit Heart. Is Abel worth 1 Spirit Heart? Yeah, you know, Abel's probably worth 1 Spirit Heart. Maybe not much more than that, but I would say 1 Spirit Heart is a relatively modest price. If you gave me a deal with the devil that was 1 Spirit Heart for Abel, and I had 7 Spirit Hearts, I might be inclined to go on with it, depending on, you know, where we were at on the run. Got another battery charge here. We'll maybe end up using that. We'll see. In the meantime, I'm just very excited about the fact that we should have nearly 100% chance for a deal with the devil, or angel, because our first deal with the devil didn't actually contain any devil items that we had to take to establish the deal with the devil precedent. If we could actually... Maggie's bow is not really that useful for us. Basically just a Spirit Heart. If we can make that happen, I would be very happy. I would rather have deals with the devil than deals with the angel, unless our deals with the angel gave us really good items. The quality of items tends to be a cut below, unfortunately. Speaker box! The cut below! Now, that's a reference that barely makes sense, Ryan, so just cool it on that one, or you'll get a knuckle supper. Now, very good. Dry Baby, you know what? You can just chill out here. If nothing else, I will say that certainly Maggie's bow has made us a much cuter character. Please, work with me. No Krampus tax. Don't give me a Krampus tax. Or give me lump of coal. Okay, this is fine. Lump of coal. Lump of coal, lump of coal. I want to get a lump of coal, lump of coal. This is like a wartime Christmas song when it was like, we don't have anything else to give because, you know, we're trying to defeat the Third Reich. Again, I think we're going to say no to our shop and we're just going to keep moving onwards here. Allow me to take a drink of water. We're staying a little bit ahead of our... we'll probably try to open that. We're staying a little bit ahead of our boss rush room, you know, like timer. Not by much, though. It's dark green. He might explode. He exploded. We got a passage rune, which we'll just throw down here. You know what? I'm going to open this anyway. Let's give it a try. That was very much not worth it. The reason, if you didn't watch the last episode, the reason I used that Awaz rune to make a passage, even though I didn't want to leave right there, Didn't want to close my eyes because I'd miss you, baby, and I don't want to miss a thing, but the reason I did it there is because it can actually create a passage to a black market, which I would love. We haven't had a black market in like 30 episodes. At least it feels that way. We had that Sister Maggie pickup on the last run. Ooh la la. Sister Maggie. I want to deal with the devil and get Sister Maggie. No, nobody does that. Don't joke with me, mister. I invented the concept of joking. You think that's ridiculous? I think you're ridiculous. Alright, well, so far, I'm not in love with this floor. I really appreciate that dry baby hit right there. My #1 most desired Isaac skill right now is the ability to make it so that we can actually, like, aim dry baby to actually get hit. As of right now, whenever dry baby gets hit, it's just an accident. But a happy accident. You know, we could probably use the lipstick instead of the... I'm getting sucked in, that's why. We could probably use the lipstick instead of our purple heart, but whatever. You know, purple heart's, it's not so bad, maybe. It might be terrible, I don't know. 2 room. Is that... I think the 2 room might be Forget Me Now. So my desire here, it'll fuck over boss rush, but my desire is to, Jeez, just kill him. Thank you. My desire is to maybe go to that after we go to our boss room and maybe deal with the devil, but definitely our item room as well. Oh, that was a great room. Boss rush is like less important than just having a good run, because there's no guarantees that there's even going to be a good item in there. There could be, but we could also just get more semi-free items by doing this floor all over again, you know? So let's see what we've got in here. Very surprised to have not been hit on this room. I don't want to mess around with that, like, blue spike. Get away from the blue spike, you straight up asshole, my god. Okay, our item room. Skinny odd mushroom, I'll take it. I can't remember if I called this out as, like, a good item for us to have, but it's a good item for us to have with Cricket's body. It'll lower our damage, decently. But it'll also create a situation in which we're generating a lot more tears, and generating a lot more tears means a lot more, you know, kind of weird detritus here. HP's not doing so hot. That's alright. Please, Cricket's body. Alright, who's our boss? The Adversary. Real asshole. More than I should call you the asshole very. Because you're a very much exactly what I just described. But shears make you easy. Meat upgrade. It is possible also that the 2 room just doesn't do it at all what I suggested that it does. It may just, we haven't been this way. Here's our, we'll go to our shop, but it may just, reroll the consumables on the ground. I think we're fine with starter deck. Why not, right? Give us a Magician Tarot card. I think starter deck has a tendency to be a little bit better than the other bullshit one. Give me a moment. Little Baggy. I think Little Baggy is pretty bad. I think starter deck, I'm not going to say it's top tier, but I think it might be okay. Let's do it. That does not appear to be a Forget Me Now, guys. I don't feel very smart right now. But it will reroll maybe the consumables on the ground out here, although it doesn't seem to have rerolled the trinkets. Well, I think maybe 5 is Forget Me Now. And I say that because there's some alliteration, and that makes it easy for my primitive ape brain to understand it. Down to the next floor. Boss Rush is now a semi-realistic possibility. We're probably like right on line with the time that you'd expect. Got about 3.5 minutes on this floor to make something happen. Really hoping we get a decent deal with the devil. Haven't really been rolling in great opportunities for that thus far, but I am happy we got Skinny Odd Mushroom on the last floor. I would fight some bosses for some good items. There we go. That's, it's a start. Becoming Guppy would be great, of course. And it's always nice to have more golden chests. Well, not always nice, but it always gives you a little bit more freedom, you know? You can choose whether or not to open them yourself. Very glad that I made the effort to get into this room. Well worth it, as you can see. That was another Guppy item. We would have been, like, at risk of having our fastest chance of becoming Guppy ever. I'm going to leave the overlay up on the screen for now. Alright, pretty easy. Just want to have an indicator of what our time's like. 2 bombs for this is actually a very good deal. Admittedly, it's going to slow us down a little bit. But I think given the damage that we do and the splash damage with Cricket's body, we can probably get away with getting into that mom fight at, like, I don't know, maybe 1930 move. Oh my god. So I did take Bob's Brain. It's a risk. Demon Baby is a lovely item. Who doesn't like Demon Baby? There are better items. That doesn't mean that Demon Baby is bad. We will have to be very smart about our usage of Bob's Brain. No question about it. There are problems with this item. Shall we call them unique characteristics? There's conditions we would do well to concern ourselves with when playing with Bob's Brain. I don't want to be undiplomatic here. It's an item that has some intricacies associated with it. I don't like Whipworm that much. I'll admit it. Now, 18 minutes. Getting a little tight on time here. Completely out of keys. Got a little bit crazy on Golden Chest. But hey, there's our boss room. We're going to be way faster than we need to be. Because with Pinking Shears, Mom's going to go down like your mom, mates. Oh, did he go there? He went there. Hagalah's rune. Yeah, dog. That's like the perfect room to get that on. Alright, what about this? Strength card. See you later. Keeper. Coddle the Light Keeper. Alright, Shears. You know what to do. Bum rush the foot when it shows up. That was not good damage on my part, but Mom will be deceased. We got to deal with the Angel. That's a big surprise for me. This has been a pretty quick run here. Oh, not the best. But I guess that, you know, it's better than 2 Eternal Hearts. It's basically like 3 HP upgrades right there. Epic Fetus, Gemini, and Peeper's Eye. You know, Gemini would be fun, but none of those items are cool enough. Epic Fetus is good enough to go through with, but none of the items are cool enough. We have Epic Fetus enough. I don't want to have Epic Fetus any more often than we do. You know, if we have a low damage run, sure, give me Epic Fetus. But I don't want to ruin my Cricket's body situation here. So what was the best item for me to take there? Gemini. Almost no question. If I'm not going to take Epic Fetus, Gemini was the right choice. But then I start to think, you know, so I've evaluated. There's my best item choice. Is it worth fighting all those bosses and probably losing all the, like, not all of them, but losing many Spirit Hearts to pick up Gemini? And the answer was no. If there was any kind of, like, better offensive item, I would have gone with it, but that was just, I think it was a bad strategic choice to end up taking an item in there. We didn't end up missing out on much by rushing to the boss room, so I don't feel like we missed out that much. Just kind of a, you know, semi-rough turn of the draw. It happens. There we go. Save our keys, because we are going to the chest. Fairly important that we actually manage to make ourselves useful once we get there, because you never know how much HP, or how little HP, rather, we might end up having by the time we get down there. How did that actually hit you? I think we scummed up the game a little bit there. That wasn't supposed to work. So we have a Strength card and, like, a Magician card. I don't think a Magician is that useful for us. Like, ever. So let's take our Strength and our Hermit card with us. You know, we can use Hermit card to get out of a curse room. Although, if you use it on a floor where you have Amnesia or Curse of the Lost, it's basically just like a shortcut to being lost for several minutes. What's our time at overall? 2021. This is a pretty quick run, considering we haven't had, like, incredible items. A 1-key room at this point, I think, is guaranteed to be a library. One of those is a Tinted Rock. Good eye. Well worth it. And there we go. Well, there's a permanent Polaroid invincibility, so I think when we've got permanent Polaroid invincibility active, it's in our interest to get up in that shit, you know? It's in our interest to get real down and dirty with the stinky stuff, because if we end up getting hit, maybe Dry Baby gets hit. And if Dry... Oh, that's like the worst for us. If Dry Baby gets hit, does damage to every enemy on the room. It seems like a win-win-win situation. Situation win, we could even call it, if you wanted to be very silly about it, which sometimes I do. So I think we only get 2 Wall Masters. Alright, pretty easy. We're definitely going to get a deal with the devil because of our goat head here. What would I love to see via a deal with the devil? Any high damage item, really? For real? I would appreciate it. Well, Shear's not doing too much on second Loki, but that's okay. I don't think he's heard of second Loki. Honestly, I don't think that's worth it. Even though we would almost replenish our HP, like we would almost earn exactly what we spent, we'd be down 1 heart. I don't think that was worth it. Admittedly, I don't mean to open that. Thank God I didn't accidentally do it. Admittedly, missing page 2 is kind of one of those items I don't really fully understand, or maybe even like basically understand. But I've never really found a time when it was very good for me. It does damage to enemies when you go down to like 1 HP. I understand the intellectual, like, on an intellectual level, I should say, I understand the value of it, but I've never encountered a situation in the wild where that's really saved my ass, so why spend any HP on it, is my philosophy there. There's a tinted rock down here. I'm sure I've missed dozens of tinted rocks, but I've seen 2, and that's a pretty good start for me. You know, this run is actually pretty good. We've had some good pickups, and the best indicator of whether or not the run is good is what's my HP at. You know, I'm staying roughly at the HP cap. That's pretty solid. There's another tinted rock up here. I don't know why I'm noticing them now that I'm at the HP cap, but, you know, we could gamble a little bit on that blood bank. Don't really want to do that. Alga's rune. Probably better than the Hermit card for us. Really, really great item. Great consumable. It's like a temporary Book of Shadows with a much longer effective period. Oh, I thought I'm... What? Where am I going here? Okay, Bob's Curse is gonna explode. Please, think of Bob's Curse. Oh, God. Get out of here, Bob's Curse! Where are we? Curse of the Maze keeps... you know, making me feel like we're in that Willy Wonka scene that really creeps all the kids out, because what the heck, I thought Willy Wonka was supposed to be like a kids movie, and now we're in this weird boat and everyone's gonna drown. I'm not gonna do it because my voice is a little bit sore right now, but you know the line. Something, something, rowing, going, all that jazz. That last part might be from Chicago, I can't remember. Hey, I might be from Chicago, I can't remember. I'm walking here. That's more of like a New York thing, maybe. I've been in New York. People don't really sound like that. This is exactly what we want. Chariot plus Algiz seems like a really nice combination. Pretty much, if you combine the Chariot card, the Algiz rune, and the Shearers, you have a stew going. But more importantly, I think you could pretty much shit on any boss you wanted to shit on. So if we save all 3 of these for the Isaac fight, or the Blue Baby fight, should be pretty nice. We could also save... Oh, that was way worth it. There was no reason to save there. We just basically got traded 1 HP, which we can quickly get back if we wanted to go back to that last room, but I don't really care right now, for a damage upgrade, which is awesome. Ceremonial robes. Definitely one of those items where you're always happy that ceremonial robes shows up. Worst case scenario, it's a free damage upgrade. I can't think of a situation in which it's not free or better than free. Like, even if you trade 3 Spirit Hearts for it, it's free, and it replaces what could have been Spirit Hearts with Black Hearts. It's really good. It's not the best item in the game, but it is maybe one of the items in the game that is impossible to be bad, if that makes sense. Alright, it lives. Let's do this. Look, let's be honest. You don't have much of a chance here. If you just want to kind of roll over and you know, die... You know, I didn't want to use the D word, but there we are. You want to just roll over and die, that'll make it pretty easy. I think we've pretty much got a guaranteed win here. This is why I love Blue Baby, man. Blue Baby, you get the deals with the devil, you get the permanent Polaroid invincibility, and if you act now, we'll throw in a second Blue Baby, all for the low, low price of $19.95. Call now. I'll call tomorrow. You'll call now. You'll call now, motherfucker. My mom was right. I should have never married you. You're not even going to call to get our HVAC air conditioner fixed. God. Yes. 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 Yeah. You know, it's worth the black card to come back here for the Chariot card. I didn't want to get hit, but if I was like, if I get hit, I get hit. It happens. It's going to save us like 6 HP to have that Chariot card active. I am a little bit less enthusiastic than I was on the last floor about sacrificing what's likely going to be 2 HP. Not necessarily, but In the worst case scenario, which is actually fairly likely, that we just get spiders in there, we'll be sacrificing 2 HP for nothing. So maybe hold off until we get like a few more consumables. Oh, there's a tinted rock back there. I'll go back for it. Maybe hold off until we get a few more consumable drops. Like for example, if we get 2 spirit hearts from that tinted rock, I will open up the curse room. In fact, maybe even if we only get 1, but that's a little risky because 1's much more likely to happen. Oh, we got 1 and a key. You know what? That's sounds fair enough in my book. And then we're going to get 1 back for getting the mark here, plus our damage upgrade. Very thankful that we're going into curse rooms here. That's very nice. Is that a tinted rock? No, just kind of looks like a rock tinted. This will be a deal with, or not a deal with the devil, but a spirit heart. Some deals with the devil are spirit hearts, but not all deals with the devil are spirit hearts. Northern Lion, you scumbag, use the shears more often. I know, okay? I know. We're not really in need of it. You know, they say a friend in need is a friend indeed. But, a friend with weed is better? Is that how that ends? I don't remember. There was some kind of song that said that, and now I've forgotten it. That isn't my own personal rhyme. I don't care if my friends come bearing gifts, whether they are, you know, illicit narcotics or not. I'm just happy because I have friends, you know. We don't need benefits because we're friends. Real pain for my sham friends and champagne for my real friends, you know? That's what I've always said ever since I saw it on a graphic tee at Hot Topic once. Let's pick up our spirit heart, and we gotta be getting... No. Nothing could be better than Golf with the Gator, and nothing could be second best instead of, like, the Algiz rune and Chariot combination we've got going on here. We'll keep moving on, because I'm a sucker, like I said. Fucked up in the head. Not. Just gotta get your daily durst, you know? It's the name of my Limp Bizkit-based Silicon Valley blog. Until I was like 15, I thought that Silicon Valley and Sweet Valley were the same thing, which seems ridiculous until you think about it for a second, and you go, okay, yeah, I could see that. You know, that those are some names that are a little bit ambiguity-inducing. Joker? 2 of clubs. What am I gonna do with the 2 of clubs? I guess I'll double my bombs. That's all right. I think I'm not gonna use this stuff. Like the incredible combination of runes that I got right now, I think I'm not going to use them on this floor because I think it's going to be easy enough to beat Isaac. And if we're going to bank on beating Isaac so easily, why don't we just hold off and we'll use this incredible, you know, speedball combination that we got going on here. And we'll sweat that off like a bunch of shallots against Blue Baby on the next floor. Don't tell me they're called shallots, okay? I've been down this road. Time and time again. Shallots, shallots. Just get over it, okay? It doesn't matter. They're little onions. I'm gonna start calling them onion testes. I'll get your onion testes in a... Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Okay, so, I think at this point we're gonna say goodbye to the pinking shears. They've been great for us. These... I shouldn't have picked up Lucky Foot if I was gonna reroll a bunch of shit. But pinking shears have been great for us. We're gonna reroll them. And we did get one of the combinations of things I was asking for, which was, with Cricket's body, getting piercing shots, because this makes our little splash damages a little bit better. The problem is that they're only going to splash, and I didn't think about this before, but they're only going to splash now when they hit a wall. So they're not going to actually splash into enemies right off the bat, which is a little bit cumbersome, but if they're... Man, those shots got deflected by that fart. That's really cool. I've never been able to visualize that before until our shots were enormous, and, well, here we are. Oh, no, that's not the fart. That's actually the other mega fatty sucking them in. Okay, still, that's a cool visual impact to see there. You don't often get to see the visual impact of an item. Mega fatty's still a lot of HP. Would like to be able to open that. We'll remember that it's there. James West, Tame in the West, so remember the hair. Now, who are you gonna call? Not the GBs. Call J-Dub and AG. It's bad marketing. You gotta have, like, a better slogan. The heavy hitters are all you need. Call 1-800-10-1333. If you live in upstate New York right now, you're going, what the fuck? How does he know? Oh, there's Creep, right. How does he know that song? My grandparents. They had gray market American satellite. It technically wasn't illegal, but it was gray market. I don't really know what that means. But we watched upstate New York programming all the time. JD Fusillo Auto Mall. I'm all about that. The heavy hitters are all you need. Call 1-800-10-1333. If you're a law office and that's how you market, man, you gotta... I hope you're a great lawyer. Because, man, how'd you choose your lawyer? Did you have, like, a good recommendation from somebody that's had him or that was his client, or, you know, they really helped out in a difficult situation, or they had a good price, or they were really particularly good at their job, or some kind of, you know, vetting agency? Nah, dude, the commercial. The jingle sold me. What can I say? I choose my lawyers the same way I choose what brand of fucking tuna I'm gonna buy, based on the quality of the internet jingle. Or not internet jingle, commercial jingle. Sorry, this is a few years prior to that. So I'm not taking concussive tears. Sorry, it isn't even concussive tears. I'm not taking Midas Touch. Because, man, we could really use some keys. Because it doesn't affect our tears. Now, admittedly, we do have this Algiz rune, and admittedly, we do have this Chariot card that could make Midas Touch really effective, but that's only going to be for one room, right? So I kind of feel like, why don't we instead try to get another reroll and get some items that are maybe more effective for multiple rooms? Now, the particularly smart among you might be saying, well, hey, it's not really going to be useful for more than one room, because by the time you get another reroll, you're probably only going to be one room away from the boss fight anyway. To which I reply, hey, oh, go fuck your mother. Because I am intimidated by the fact that you actually presented a strong counter-argument and responded with some immature comments just to make myself feel like I'm still in control of the situation. To which you'll say, man, Northern Lion's kind of an asshole, and I'll say, man, that commenter's kind of an asshole, you know? It's a tragic situation. I got hit by the tail end of that brimstone. I'm not happy about it. Oh my god, it almost happened again. Please be one of you be dead. Not doing so well on the whole keeping these spirit hearts alive front. I don't have any extra lives either, which is actually pretty bad. Make sure that we get the Blue Baby's only friend in there so it's doing damage at the same time. Are there any leapers around? I can't see. So it's actually, I think, it's in our best interest to stay as far away as possible. Yes, this will be fine. We've got a reroll ready. I am excited. I hope that we get something good, because we are getting a little bit into the danger zone. Wouldn't mind getting a skeleton key. Halo of Flies is actually pretty good. I'll take Spelunker Hat at this point. We're going to be able to find secret rooms. Why not, right? And you're some people out there now going like, this is what you chose to take instead of Midas Touch? Yeah, okay. I'm starting to regret that decision. Little Gish could have been interesting as well. I don't know why I wrote off Little Gish at the same time I wrote off Midas Touch. It's kind of a stupid and arbitrary choice, because Little Gish, you know, slowing the enemies would have been very helpful in conjunction with Mom's Contact. We'd keep enemies, like, at bay at all times, basically. Oh well, you know, I've made my bed. Now it's time to lie in it. You can't really do anything with that Yum Heart. I don't mind fighting Greed, because there's a chance we get an item here. And with our reroll, we can actually reroll it into another secret room item. Who knows what kind of delicious secret room items we could get. Can't believe we're still not at our boss fight. Like, that's getting a little ridiculous now. Luckily, the Husk, very easy fight. Tower card, not good at all. Wow! Okay, so I've chosen the wrong direction yet again. Little wary about our lack of HP. But we're doing decent damage, and anytime we're firing triangles, life's good. That's what I've always said ever since I was a little bitty boy. One more room, we will have our D6 available. I think, well, there's nothing else to reroll really except Yum Heart or Steam Sail. We're gonna reroll Steam Sail. Oh, now we'll have a choice, but we're gonna reroll Steam Sail because it could give us a better pool, I think. Sure, Transcendence actually gives us the ability to fly. I don't know if I've seen that very often. Celtic Cross may give us the ability to get one period of Polaroid invincibility. I wouldn't hold out too much hope. I have some contingency plans in case things get truly desperate, by the way. We can afford to use probably the Chariot card and the Algiz rune on different rooms. I think that would be probably totally fine. Algiz plus Chariot might be overkill. So I wouldn't mind splitting them up a little bit. Okay, let's come back. This is what we're here for. It's my last run of the day. I might as well enjoy myself a little bit. I started a joke. It started the whole world laughing. But I didn't see that the joke was on me. Basically, I'm saying the game's playing a trick on me. How many times can we get guillotine in, like, the last 3 runs? Well, not very many, because I only took it once, but it's okay. Ah, that extra little bit of HP might end up being a deal changer. It's not an expression you hear all that often, because I just basically made it up right now. I took damage against the bloat. It happens. I don't feel bad about it. Oh, shit. Okay. Chaos card. We've used this. Hey, we made it work. Well, that's fun. We spent all that time holding on to this Algiz rune and the Chariot card, and then the freaking Chaos card shows up the room before the boss. But anyway, I'm happy that we got a win out of that. We're getting a little bit of a streak going here. Do you know that my best streak is still only 4? We got to try to change that. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. And, of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.